All set up, all getting ready to go. It is domain to profit time. Yeah, gotta look around the little dials, all the little things here, and make sure I got everything set up. And it appears that it is indeed set up, so that's good. You know, I have to say I'm looking up, and as you may notice, there's a big vacancy over here where my friend Toby's head typically resides, and he's missed. He really is. He's missed. Usually looks down on me with his open smile and just lets me know that everything's going to be okay. And I don't have that today because he's getting construction, because we have a trade show coming up in a couple of weeks. And I think my my face might be redder than usual because like my blood pressure increases, because normal day-to-day business can get stressful, right? Maybe you know the feeling, been there. I mean, normal day-to-day business for me is start of the business, on domain names, continue to churn at it, and now it's an actual, business, an enterprise. I have employees. I have responsibilities. But regardless of what shade of crimson Drew's face is, the color that matters, I think, to you, to me, to all of us here on Domain to Profit is whatever color .coms are, which we just prefer them to be green, right? We just want them to, how can we turn a .com into something green? At least in the U.S., our currency is mostly green. I guess I can't assume that doesn't translate to every country out there, but we're looking for green. So domain to profit, we're going to be looking at domain names. We're going to be looking at how we can turn them into some money. So today specifically, I'm going to be looking through expired domain auctions. So those, when somebody lets their domain name expire, it goes up for auction before it drops and is available to anyone. So those auctions are where the best domains are. We have to search through those auctions. Otherwise, you'll never have a chance of getting the top of the top domain names that are becoming available. So we're going to be looking through domain expired auctions, expired domain name auctions. We're going to spend about half our time starting at the top of the list. Those domains that have the highest appraisal, the highest activity as far as people bidding on them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change up our search filters. And for about half the time, we're also going to be looking at domains that are the auction's going to end in the next 2 days. So if you're watching live, you're going to have access to domain names that if you're not watching live, you may have already missed out on them. But what we're going to be looking for is some deals specifically. We're going to be looking for domains that expire in the next 2 days. So the auction ends in the next 2 days. And then ideally, we're going to focus on those domains specifically that even though they're expiring in 2 days, they have less than $200 is their max bid. So we're looking for some deals. We're looking for some bargains half the time. So this is Domain to Profit. If you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you say hi to the community we have in the chat, which I promise you, they are all much better than me. Better looking, better everything else, all in the chat. So make sure you say hi to them. I'll catch you on the other side. This is Domain to Profit. I'm Drew Wash. See you in a minute.
From domain to profit, from a .com to a business idea. Take a domain name, develop an income from domain to profit. We'll show you how. Domain to profit, from domain to profit. Join Drew Wash and get started right now.
Okay, well, I have I'm trying to figure out if I believe everything's going out okay. See Michael here in the chat, so thanks for being with me, Michael. I always appreciate it. And yes, when I say the good-looking people, Michael's certainly amongst them. So I appreciate. It just happens. It happens. So I very much appreciate you being here, Michael, as well as those that are lurking. I always appreciate. Hopefully we get you something. Hopefully we get you some great information, something that is of worth. Realistically, my mug here talking to you isn't going to be what brings value. It's going to be what we find on the screen. So let's go out to our, what I will say is our buddies over at expireddomains.net. Expireddomains.net is this right here, this beautiful, well, it's data, okay, peeps? It's data, and realistically, the data is valuable. Because why? Because it's virtual real estate. This is beautiful. So expireddomains.net is a free tool. You get to use it for free. It costs you nothing to search through like a million domains that are expiring this week. And it's just a matter of like filtering them, finding the domains that matter to whatever your goals are. In our case, in this show, we're looking for domains that can be developed into businesses, specifically domains that like calibrate what we want to do. Like towing.com. What do you expect to find on it? Towing. What do you expect to find on peaches.com, which actually maybe I should, anyhow, but you expect to find what the domain describes what the product or service is that you expect to find on it. And from there, we want to make revenue, ideally passive revenue, passive income. So that's what we're looking for, passive income. So we want to make money while we sleep. We want to work hard once. So when you're on expireddomains.net here, you want to go over to Marketplace Domains. I am logged into my free account. Yours may look different. You have to set up a free account in order to get some of the features that you'll see here. So Marketplace Domains, and then we're going to go right over here to GoDaddy Expired Domains. GoDaddy Expired Domains. Obviously, GoDaddy is huge registrar. It's where most people think of when they think of getting a domain name. So that means people register them, and when they register them, in many cases, they maybe don't renew them, or for whatever reason, they let it expire. And that's where scavengers like us are popping in to grab those domains and make them our own and build amazing things on them. I've purchased well over $1 million in expired domain names, and I do pretty well with them. I like them. They're good. So right now you'll see right here, there's currently, it's actually a low number. That's lower than usual. So 464,000 domains that are currently out listed as expiring in the auction. We are going to filter those down. And for part of the show, this first part, we're going to start at the top of the list, those domains that are most valuable according to GoDaddy's appraisal tool. So we're going to filter them down, though, to English words, 1 to 3 words is what this area is here. We're going to get rid of numbers. We're going to get rid of hyphens because they suck. We don't need hyphens in our domains. We want to get quality, and there's lots of garbage hyphenated domains out there. Numbers, we don't need those either. You can always go do that if you have spare time. And if you have spare time, then we'll find you something else. Then over here on the second tab, additional, we're looking for .com. So .com is where it's all at. Yes, you can build on other domain extensions, but .com is by far the most valuable. And how do I know that? Well, if you buy something else, so say you buy a .org or a .net, and say you have like success starting up, you're always going to wish you had the .com, right? You're always going to be thinking like, oh, I need to get that. Oh, I'm sending part of my traffic over to the .com, which is true. You are. So why bother building on a .net or .org, knowing your future self is going to, well, they're going to want to abuse you. They want to give you a spanking. Spanking.com. Okay. So with those 7 filters set up, we are going to just hop down this list, and we'll spend 20 minutes or so looking through these domains from the top of the list. Let me show you what the top of the list means. Over here, when we're looking through GoDaddy specific domains on this site on expireddomains.net, the valuation by default, that's provided by GoDaddy. They just make up some number. They're just like, hey, we got a bunch of data of people buying domains over here. We know what domains have sold for in the past. We know a bunch of different data, and they take a stab and try to value a domain name based on past data. it's a complete guess. It's not a complete guess. That's not true. I mean, they're using data, they're guessing at a price, but realistically, almost never does it actually accurately represent the value of the domain, but it does help us sort them. So we're going to start with these, and you'll find that those are what we're starting from the list, the top of the list that GoDaddy thinks are most valuable. OmniCloud. It sounds like some business speak. See, they like business speak. I don't like business speak. I don't like OmniCloud. Aren't these the most like? Remember the movie Office Spaces or whatever? Is that the right? Anyhow, that cult classic Office movie, and they're like talking all these nonsense words with the TPS reports and all those things, like OmniCloud and Ultramax and Lifestyle Plus. I don't know. If you work in corporate America, maybe these domains look great for you, but not for me. So here's one that I believe I pointed out last week, and this one is a good example of a domain. Yeah, Office Space. Thank you, Matt. You're saving me. How do I? It's been a while since I've seen that movie. I love that. I love that movie, or at least I used to love it. But Office Space is the movie indeed. And you'll see here, domain expireddomains.net, they attempt to guess what words are in the domain name. So when I say 1 to 3 words, they're only looking for domain names that have English words in them, and they sometimes guess wrong. And in this case, they guessed wrong. And you have to kind of keep an eye out for this. They provide a helpful tool, let you dive through this stuff, but realistically, they mess up sometimes. And you'll see right here, this is not DOMA in experts. I mean, it sounds like Latin, but what this is domainexperts.com, which you'd think like a domain guy like me would be like, oh, domain experts. I think it's pretty much garbage, but we'll click on it. We'll, what is this? Domainer masturbation or something? We're all just like having a good time talking about domains and domain experts. I don't know, whoever, anyhow, domainexperts.com, already over $2,000, already overpriced. Don't buy it. Hopefully that's not you. But hey, go for it. Go for it. Make your dreams come true. I just don't think it is a valuable domain enough to go pursue. Top Now. Now that one, on the other hand, let's see what topnow.com is going for. So what I like about Top Now, what I can see happening with this domain name, ending in 2 days, going for $7.95 currently over on GoDaddy auctions. I'm thinking Top Now is kind of like, what's trendy, right? Is trendy is just referring to what's on top now, what matters now. So Top Now could be a cool little brand as far as like what's top now, what's the main thing now, what's the top color now, what's the top piece of fashion now, what's the top piece of media, where's the trendy things going on the internet. So Top Now could be your place on the internet where you get to critique, judge, rank all the content of the internet, all the content, all of it, whatever it is you want to categorize and put on this domain. It's still a brand though. It kind of says Top Now. Top Now. I like a domain that specifies what you're going to find on it. And Top Now, what does that really do that? Does that really specify? Not really feeling it. But you could do what we were talking about. In that case, if you did that, you'd be talking about affiliate links. You'd be monetizing through affiliate links, as well as probably some paid ads, and possibly just some general blog content. So I tend to steer clear of content-driven sites unless the user drives the content, which, okay, I can see that. Like Top Now being a little bit of a Reddit thing. If you're familiar with Reddit, they have the little up and down arrows. And essentially, you have a list. You have lists of products or services, and people can vote up and down. And you could see essentially what's top rated as of this point. And it's a form of lists. I could see that. And people either pay to be an ad above the list or on the side of the list. And then you wouldn't need to create content, which that's what we want to avoid. We want to avoid you creating the content. You have other things to do, right? Let the users create the content. So topnow.com, I like it. I don't know. Like it's already $800. Probably not. If you have something that you're already running, if you have an idea that you wanted to do lists in, then maybe it's worth it. But uh, if you're just starting off blindly, I'd probably avoid it. Affiliate cash sounds like it matters. I don't think it necessarily does. Model agencies. Okay, well, model agencies. Let's see what happens here. This one is going to be a good opportunity to pull out our SpyFu tool. So this is SpyFu. SpyFu is you can pay a monthly subscription and get access to lots of data, but the beauty is most of the stuff that we need for just evaluating domain names is free. So we're going to go in here, we're going to get rid of .com, we're going to separate the words, and then we're going to look to see what search volume is happening for the exact keywords of this domain name. And this is looking pretty good. This is exactly what we want to see. What do you expect to find on modelagencies.com? Model agencies, right? I mean, that's the perfect definition of a domain name, is where you can just take that domain name and the words that are part of that domain name exactly describe what the user might expect to find on it. So modelagencies.com, 2,800 monthly searches. So those are the available, that's the available traffic. So of all the different searches that are happening on Google for the keyword model agencies, 2,800 of them are available if you could rank well, if that makes sense. And I will tell you a little bit more about that as we scroll down. This is the actual Google data. And Google says there's actually close to 50,000 searches every single month for model agencies. That's a big number, 50,000 searches for model agencies, and just under $1 per click is what the max people are paying. There's some advertisers paying as well. All good data. So we're seeing there's a little bit of momentum here. We have people, there's 7 companies that are paying up to $1 per click. There's 50,000 searches. And then what SpyFu does for us is they say, yeah, there's 50,000 searches, but because Google is, they try to force as much of that traffic to their ad partners and stuff as possible, realistically, there's only about 2,800 searches available for you. But still, 2,800 is not bad. 2,800, $1 per click. You're talking this domain being worth about $2,800 pretty easily. You got to evaluate the industries a little bit. Let's look over here at some other keywords. Modeling agencies. So that's about 4 times, three plus times as good. Model agencies near me. That's good. That means that there's localization. Localization is what we need to be able to implement what I call the local Legion 300. And that is where we just send out and look for one company in the top 300 cities in the United States, one company to pay to advertise, and that gives you your first 300 paying monthly subscriptions if you just get one for each of the top 300 cities in the United States. And there are over 300 cities with over 100,000 people in the population. So that's our local Legion 300, and those are those troops that we send out in front to help us kind of know if we scrap our butts off, we can get our first 300 customers by looking for one person per city. So say you charge $10 a month. $10 a month, that's $3,000 a month. If you scrap your booty off, build a site that is a great directory, and you can possibly pull in also other keywords related to, for example, New York City modeling agency. You will have a section specifically for this keyword. Obviously, it's getting as much traffic, as many searches as model agencies by itself. That means special content section for you, and you can grab that traffic. Then you can look over here at these questions. A lot of times we look at these to see what content, what foothold can we get into this area? Because I have no clue about anything modeling agencies. Do you? We don't know, but what we can see over here is what people are searching for related to it. So how to find a fitness model agency by me, how to choose a fitness model agency. So yeah, you can have people write blogs that, how to choose a fitness model agency. I'm not sure what the heck the difference between a fitness or not, but hey, maybe that's one of the blog posts you have. How to start a modeling agency. That's all great content that will give you access to hundreds more traffic each month. And there you go. Modelagencies.com. That is over there on GoDaddy auctions. I'm going to keep clicking tabs until I find it. $425. I'll take us up to $500 just to get things going. I am guessing modelagencies.com is easily going to be a $1,200 or more domain name. I don't know what my top bid's going to be. I'm guessing I'll end up taking it just above 1,000. It's not my ideal industry, but it is kind of perfect for that localization, which I like. So there you go. Let me see. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Matt in the chat is a model. Everyone in the chat's a model, right? I already said everybody we're all good looking. You can't be a domain developer without being good looking. I'm going with that. I think it's true. It's true if we think it's true. Hey Matrix, church management. I know there are definitely church management applications and software out there. I don't know if there's room for anybody to do anything, but if that's you, great domain name to add to your portfolio. Pay Matrix, War Museum. Who knows? Maybe you can create a virtual war museum or a directory of war museums. They're all over the place, for sure. Let's just see. That was registered in 1999. Pretty old domain. Okay, so warmuseum.com, as you see here, 54 minutes left in the auction. So anybody watching that's already bidding on this is going, crap, Drew just pointed this domain name out, which means the price is going to go up. Maybe. I mean, War Museum, certainly worth more than $500. I expect that one again. $1,200 seems to be the sweet spot for domain names anymore. So make sure that you are ready to spend $1,200, but don't do it for every domain name out there. Do it for the ones that matter to you most. And if you happen to be into war museum, something like that, then that's a pretty good one. Good opportunity for people for sure. Yourskills.com. Anybody? I'm really feeling it. Northern Arizona. If anybody wants to go the location route, we did a show a few months back talking about locations and developing them. In fact, Northern Las Vegas, I believe, was one of the examples that was given. NorthernLasVegas.com and makes good money. So maybe go with Northern Arizona. What Northern Arizona? That's like Grand Canyon area, right? Maybe. Although I'm guessing people Mind Hackers. Sounds like a good blog. How to get peak performance out of your mind. Okay, so 2 days left on that auction. $200. This could be something along the lines of Lumosity. Isn't that one of the services where you do tests and things and it helps you improve your cognitive function? I'm just tossing out all kinds of crazy words. I don't know if any of them make any sense. Mind Hackers could be something like that. Maybe it's there's an entire section, those who use drugs specifically to increase cognitive performance as well. Mind Hackers, typically illegal, but hey, so be it. Great domain name for that subject for sure. Go Trucks, We Beast, amazing animals. You know what? Amazing animals. All I ever want to see is cat videos. VR experts. And I'm a big cat video fan. If I'm in a bad mood, I just watch funny cat videos. VR experts, virtual reality experts, tweeted just recently. It's like, is virtual reality still a thing? I think it is, but VR experts is a pretty damn good domain name. I'm guessing it's showing up in the price as well. It's still pretty cheap. Just under 3 days left in that auction. Currently only $80. and I could pretty much guarantee that domain name needs to go for more. Not because of developing it for profit, but because virtual reality, it's that whole thing, like it comes and goes. It's like a big thing one day and then it goes away. And nowadays everybody's switching to meta this, meta that. But I'll mark that one for later. I might look at it. My podcast tool. I'm sure there's stuff out there. Grab an RSS feed, or maybe you just keep track of your own podcasts, where to get them from, or maybe it's another tool where you can upload the podcast you create. So something like that. So there's certainly, that's kind of a fun one. My is a pretty good word. So podcast.com being a great domain name, adding my in front of it personalizes it. It's not a bad way to add onto a domain name to keep it meaningful. Mypodcast.com. Not really sure how we'd monetize it necessarily. It'd probably be a paid tool. Paid tool means you're going to have some good features, some good development into it, but why not? Could happen. Okay, come on. This is much better than last week. We got some good domains this week. Last week really burnt me out. I was all these domains and I was like, not finding anything. Gitcode.com. Git, G-I-T, is, if you're a coder, you're familiar with Git. Git being one of the ways that you merge and keep, there's a specific name for it. Code. Gosh, my brain it just left me. But it's a way to keep and make sure that your code is not duplicated, so multiple people can work in code. I'm failing on that explanation. I hate that I'm not coming up. Source control, code control, source code control. I think that's more explanation of it. So Git code, if you have a tool, maybe you work in Git, maybe you have some cool little functionality you want to add to common Git functions or something, could be it. I imagine that one's going to again go for closer to $1,000 as well. Git code. I don't know if code makes sense, but Git makes sense. Code makes sense. Together they might make sense. Let me pop out here just for the chat. I got a couple by Matt. Yes, loves Lumosity. So yes, if you're looking for those brain hackers, then VR Experts. I love the domain name. Like VR Experts. I own 0 VR domains. I have only used VR like twice in my entire life. It's cool, I guess. I mean, someday it'll be cool. And then down here to this chat, which is, yeah, but what is a VR expert? It may be a trap. That's a good point. Like, what is a VR expert? A VR expert is whoever raises their hand and says, I'm an expert today in virtual reality. There's plenty of those people up on Twitter. I think that's what Twitter is. Okay. A couple more minutes here looking through this list, and then we will try to find some bargain domain names. So we're going to look for some that are not getting any love right now in the auctions, even though they should maybe. SEO map doesn't really make sense. As Matt called it, we'll use his wording. It might be a trap domain, SEO domains. I will say this one's a trap. Results Digital. It sounds like, ooh, Results Digital. Oh, no, it has a middle S. So a warning, if it has a middle S, the chances are it's a trap. Very seldom, 1 in 20 times, 5% of the time, maybe the middle S makes sense. In most cases, that middle S is a trap to make you think the domain name's better than what it is. But then the other trap is 2 words that they sound great by themselves, Results Digital. And you put them together and it means nothing. Results Digital. No one knows what that is. It's just somebody trying to have a techie sounding company name. And Susan is asking for, can you review Z? I'm guessing that's a specific domain, Susan. Let me know what domain name that is, and I'll check it out. I don't know what Z is, but I can give you feedback on domain names, especially as we get to the second half of the show and we start to look to those discount domains. Then chances are we're going to have a lot lot of space between good domains. Seller's Engine, Triangle Energy, Triangle Power. What do you think? I'm guessing the same person owned both those domains. Green Fleets, Eco Roots, Polished Plaster. I'll stop reading them because most of them don't make sense. Wedding Premium, I think that's where Lee is right now. Big wedding stuff going on with Lee, who is often on the show. Sometimes in a hot tub, sometimes drinking wine. What happens when it's evening rather than daytime? Sparkle, yeah. The lifeboat. I don't like the in front of domain names. That's one of the things I typically warn against. Avoid the in front of a domain name. You're always going to wish that domain name was not there. I mean, Escort, if that was agency, that'd be a great domain. But again, middle S, not so much. Now, Mars Company, I guess in the US, we probably might run into Mars Candy Bars trademark type stuff. Probably, I'm guessing. But someday, when we're on Mars, it might be a fun domain. So play the long game with marscompany.com. Oh, Meta. So there you go. So Matt's pointing out a lot of domains towards the bottom have Meta in the name. Meta is huge right now. There's a major trend since Facebook declared Meta as their new name. Even before Facebook declared it, there's a lot of move towards Meta because the metaverse is where we're all going to live our digital lives. If by chance you read Ready Player One, in that book, it is called the Oasis, and it's where we all live our digital lives. But in real life here, it's Meta. It's the metaverse. And evidently, Facebook's trying to claim it as their own. Momsecrets.com. Top loaded. App Daddy. That's not a bad domain name if you work in apps. I could see that being a pretty good brand. So there's a lot of good domains. I am passing up, and if you see something that I'm passing up on and you're wondering why I'm passing it, feel free to call it out on the chat. In most cases, I see a lot of good domains that if you're looking for a company name, if you're just looking for something to put a cool blog on, maybe you just want to blog about technology, write about technology or something like that. There's lots of good domains in here, but the domains are not going to lead you to profit. They're just going to be real estate. They're just going to be that blank real estate that you can build on. Speaking of real estate, realestatespot.com. But again, it's if you wanted the blog, realestatespot.com is not bad. But outside of that, outside of being a personal homepage, they don't provide a source to revenue. They don't provide a path to revenue like modelagencies.com. People pay around $1 per click to reach that keyword. So owning that domain name is a path to generating revenue. And if you're not sure, you can always take a domain name, toss it into that tool SpyFu, and SpyFu will show you whether or not the domain name is worth a darn. So speaking of that, what's one of these domains? Let me see if anybody mentioned one in chat. I just passed up on a couple domains. Real Estate Spot, for example. I'm just saying it's only good for a blog. And the reason why I say it's only good for a blog is because, yes, real estate is a great keyword. Real estate is valuable. There's a lot of content out there, but the word spot is just an add-on. Nobody's searching for it, so you're going to lose all your search traffic. Any chance to pick up, exact match. You'll see that confirmed down here. Nobody's advertising for real estate spot. You can look up here, see if any keywords spot real estate, spot zoning. I can see some stuff with that. But really, for the most part, it's just an address for you to put your blog on, your own little home on the internet. So that is what I'm talking about when I'm referring to it's real estate. It's just an address. Easy enough to remember that it might be worth getting for you to have as your homepage. So now we're going to change up our filters. So what I want to do for part of this time here is we typically just will go down from the top of the list all the way, just keep going, chug through 200, 400, 600 domain names based on the value of GoDaddy's appraisal. Well, one of the things that you'll find when it comes to expiring domains is, well, in many cases, GoDaddy appraisal tool is only helpful. I mean, it helps sort all this data, but there's plenty of bargains that you'll find at $1,000, $2,000 appraisal, which nearly every domain name Google gives, or GoDaddy gives, an appraisal of around that $1,000 to $1,600 range. So what I want to do is spend a little bit of time looking through the deals, the ones that are going to end within the next 48 hours. And to do this, I'm going to bring us back over to expireddomains.net, and I'm going to reset our filters over here. So resetting the filters, and then we're going to go in once that loads, and we're going to start to set up new filters. So let's say that we want to look for domains that are ending today, domains that are ending over the next couple of days. What are the filters that are available to us to be able to do that? Well, we still want to get rid of numbers, still want to get rid of hyphens, still want to concentrate on English words, 1 to 3 words long. Then over here, we have options for end date, and then we have domains ending in a certain number of days. I'm just going to say 2. Hopefully that's ending in 2 days. Hopefully that's today and through tomorrow. We could also just do it through, ending tomorrow. That's probably the safer bet, but I'll just go with 2 days. And then I don't want to see a domain name over $250. So we're looking for domains that are cheap right now. We're looking for domains that are flying under the radar, and in the next couple of days, hopefully we can snag at a bargain. I have found lots of great domain names in this range. So let's go searching for them. Going to go over to the additional tab, change it to the .com only. So hopefully you picked up on all those filters. The main addition is the addition of a filter for price. We want to see maximum $250, and then we want to look at domains that are ending in the next 2 days. You can, of course, change those to anything you have. And you'll see now we got rid of a lot of those domains that are already super high priced. And now we're down around the, 7,000 is the max one here. So the space between domain names, between good domains, they're going to be more spread out. So feel free to, if you have a domain name, whether it's Susan, if you have a domain that you're wanting to bring up, but if you want to bring up a domain name that maybe you own, maybe you're looking to sell, maybe if you're looking to buy it, you probably don't want to mention it because there's lots of investors and things that will watch. But if you have a domain name that you own, either you're looking to sell, possibly looking to buy, whatever else, want to get some feedback live, publicly, going to go out to hundreds of people. So if you want to keep the price low, you may not want to mention it. Now's a good time to toss it in the chat, and I can possibly talk about them as we look for deals. Looking for deals. Some of these may be the same domains that we saw up top in the first half of the show. Some of them may not, at least for a little bit. Edison Studio. Sounds like fun. Ubercell. So what would it be called if I had a little boy that I called Matt with 1 T? Matt Wash? That'd be funny for me, not anybody. It's okay. You don't have to laugh at all of them. Like, who registers some of the car games car? What? I don't even know. Domestic Lab, Common Legal, Video My Business. Worst case scenario, we can always go back to the top. I'm hoping to find, and we're looking now through new search criteria that we just set up that is looking for domains that are going to expire over the next couple days. So these are going to be domains that are bargains, is what we're searching for, the bargain domains. So if you're on a budget, these are going to possibly be where you find them. Now, some will point out that a lot of the budget domains, and let me just say, domain investors are often lazy. I can tell you that in, gosh, I don't even know how many, 2003, I think, is when I first started to mess with domain investing. I don't go all the way through the list. I set up some search criteria, I do some searching, but realistically, I don't look through 500,000 domains each and every week. Very few do. So chances are, if you do this kind of search, you can find deals, find bargains. And the people that do search this much are often automations, AIs, bots. And what they will do is they set up all kinds of search criteria, algorithms, and they will place bids on domains without ever actually seeing the domain name. I've actually thought about setting up a bot myself. I've not as of this point, but there are so many good domains that hide out down here that should be going for $200, $300 that I know some of you peeps are really good at sniping these things for like freaking $50, $60. I'm glad you get a deal, but realistically, I value domains highly. And yeah, so how about Pizza Freaks? Talking about a good domain for a pizza blog, pizza service, even pizza restaurant, pizzafreaks.com. Close down some of these tabs. Keep my computer from not wigging out. So that one right there, $15 ends tomorrow. Pizzafreaks.com. I know I am married to a pizza freak. I am over pizza. I don't care to eat it ever again, but instead I eat it about weekly. It's okay. I love her. Okay, moving on. But pizzafreaks.com, not a bad domain name. Good, like I said, some good real estate. It's certainly priced cheap enough. So if you were buying the selling, you can use like SpyFu, see if other companies are out there, do some Google searches, see if companies, if Pizza Freaks or Pizza Freaks singular is something people search for. So in a couple weeks here, and maybe next week I'll talk more about it. One of the things that we do with our sites when we launch them, and if with Tony.com we continue to do it, but we do trade shows. I like trade shows, and it's part of why we have like the mascot heads. One of the things I love to do is have a mascot present. It's really good marketing. People love seeing the mascots and want to take photos with them. Get one of those things for like $500, custom made, toss a jersey or something on it. They're hot, so make sure you have somebody healthy inside of it. But long story short, have a mascot, and trade shows are a great way to meet with potential customers. So I've not found a good search engine. Maybe you have one that you can share with me, but a search engine of trade shows. So one thing that you can do is pair up a domain that you're looking for with trade shows. So maybe model agencies, for example, maybe there's a lot of trade shows out there for, modeling related stuff. Well, I mean, other than fashion shows, that's different, but model agency specific. So these would be trade shows where people are selling to modeling agencies, ideally. And what you would essentially do is buy a booth, $1,000 to $3,000. You go, and hopefully you're meeting with thousands of potential customers and or visitors, and you are doing marketing research like crazy. You're looking at the other exhibitors. You're looking and talking to everybody that comes by. What can you add to your site? What can you learn and apply? As well as hopefully you can make some sales. Whether you're implementing the local Legion 300 or not, get the momentum broken. A trade show is really good at it. I don't think I've ever been shut out at a trade show. Like even when we launched helicopterrides.com, like completely obscure domain name, we found a helicopter related trade show. We went to it, and I think we ended up getting a couple signups because ultimately we're just looking for those people that they're looking for an opportunity to compete and win. And at trade shows, you have the best opportunity to bump into those people, which, you may not even have your sales pitch ready to go, but it's mostly about, hey, they see the domain name, they go, what's this? And you go, well, we're building out this domain name, modelagencies.com, and we're listing your agency on there so you can get some additional exposure. And, it's $10 a month or $99 a year if you pay for a full year. And basically, we're using that domain name to try to benefit your company. You want to go ahead and list your company in your area? Right now, there's nobody there. Next thing you know, I'll give it a shot. Voila, sale, right? And what does that sale also give you? That sale gives you confidence, right? It's so beneficial for you to have that confidence, to have that first sale, just to let you know, like, I'm not crazy. It actually, this does matter, which is true. It's a good thing. Okay, let me see here. Lee popping in and the change of time. We have our time changes, I think, next week. So I'll be a little more tired. Romantic. You guys are killing me. So the chat is always the best reason to watch live. Always some good peeps in the chat. As I mentioned, good people, all good looking. And like you, looking for domain names, looking to develop businesses. I would not be surprised if business partnerships and opportunities, they reside in the chat. It's one of the reasons why live is so important. The opportunities are here because, again, right now we're only looking through domain names that expire in the next 2 days and are under $250. So we're looking for deals. We're looking for domains that we can bring to you that by the time anybody watching this on a replay, they're probably already gone. I thought that voice would come out different. That didn't sound as good as what I thought. Thought they'd be gone. I can't. I got nothing. Top balloons. Coder trip. Coder trip? I think we need to go on a coder trip. Healthcare transfer. I don't know if that's a thing. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Yeah, I guess everybody's all popping in. Like Ian's all like, hey, yeah, just made it in. Lee just made it in. Yeah, you guys, slackers. I'm going to put the best content in the first 10 minutes now. Not really. Come on, you guys know me by now. That's not going to happen. I appreciate you all getting here when you do, though. There's no tardy slips for Domain to Profit. The tardy slip is you may have missed out on good content. We actually, if you came in the second half of the show, if you're just coming in now on Restream, you will want to go back and see. We did find there's some good domains on the first half. Some good domains indeed. Much better than last week. Last week I felt like I was striking out. This week, we found some stuff. Attorney slut. This is not a PG show, and that is not a PG law firm. So because we are looking through discount domains, so we're looking for those deals, it also means that we deal with some garbage domains. Junkie Man, it's a near miss. Business Uber. I mean, Uber should be getting that. You probably shouldn't get it. It's going to be a trademark thing, but that's a pretty darn good domain name hiding out underneath there. As long as you don't try to violate their trademark, you can always get it and just kind of list it for $12.95. But do not mention Uber, the car place. You would have to act like it was for something else. And by act, you would probably want to create content related to Uber as in the actual word, which I think is just another way of saying large. So Uber business, talk about the largest businesses in the world or something. Overproductions. Let's check that out real quick. This one could be hiding under the radar. Overstock.com, for example, I know overproduction sounds like something where maybe somebody produced too much, got some big lots or overstock. Okay, there's no volume there. Overly sarcastic productions. I like that. That's funny. That fits pretty well. I've been watching Better Off Ted, the show Better Off Ted, the comedy that was canceled a few years back. And my 6-year-old daughter, so don't judge me, but my 6-year-old daughter was like, should I be watching this? This is really sarcastic. It's overly sarcastic. Anyhow, alert by. That's actually not bad. I can see that being one, Lee. Sorry to call you out, but alert by, that's could be good for some kind of alert type software if you want to set reminders. Bootstrap training. Oh yeah, let's check that one out. So bootstrapping is often what you would consider starting a business with no money. Okay, there we go. I'm going to grab that. $12. You're welcome to outbid me. So bootstrap training, one of the things like Peter Askew and Peter Askew, he runs VidaliaOnions.com. He is a bootstrapper. I am a bootstrapper. We've never taken any kind of outside investment for the sake of starting and running our companies. This is very much what we talk about here on Domain to Profit. Start your company, buy your domain name, and then build and grow it without some outside investor. It's called bootstrapping and maybe bootstrap training. Actually, boom. Then also, how about the fact that Bootstrap is a popular JavaScript framework, right? So you can go that way as well. There's a couple different uses. There you go. Hiding out down there. Hopefully either you or I grab that one, bootstraptraining.com. I love that domain name. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to miss out on it because I'm not going to pay attention to it during the show. So, marketing outlet, pretty close. My art galleries, that's not bad. So we talked earlier in the show about how you can take a domain name, and of course, galleries is going to be taken. But how about my art galleries? You toss in my in front of it, and now this is a good one too. I like this one. I'm going to toss my name in this. Actually, let me say this. This ends in one day. So one of the strategies I highly recommend you do is we don't want to draw attention to this domain name. So instead, I'm going to add it to my watch list. So you can add it to your watch list over here, or in here, you can add it to a list. And what you'll want to do is you want to wait till it's close to the end of the auction. I highly recommend if you're like wanting to get something at top discount at 5 minutes and 30 seconds, 5 minutes and 15 seconds, that's when you put your max bid in. Don't bother like trying to put just $12 and try to up it. Put your max bid in right at 5 minutes and 15 seconds. That strategy has worked well for me as well as others. And so there you go. I'm going to check in on that domain. I kind of want it. Unless somebody here is going to get it. If you're watching live and you want that domain name, make sure to mention it to the group. Otherwise, what did I do? I got rid of it. Oh, well. Sorry, I don't mean to click on all these different things. I'll check it after the auction and everybody extended if they're going for it. I like that domain name, though. It's a good domain. Talking about bootstraptraining.com. And the beauty is, as long as you're watching live, I want you to win. I want you to get a domain name that you're going to develop, not just get it and sit on it. Get something that you're going to build, or get it in the hands of builders. The purpose of this show is to get more domain names developed and make some money while we do it. I'll keep going for a couple more minutes here. Yeah, okay. So Matt was correcting me on what that is. It's not a JavaScript framework. It's a CSS framework, which makes sense. Yeah, yes it is. Yes it is. Market consortium. That sounds like it matters. And when we don't know, let's see what the heck it is. It does not matter. Consortium's just too old of a word. I mean, it's not a bad domain though. Like consortium, I'm pretty sure is a thing, right? Maybe. Is that even how you spell it? That's the question. Yeah, so it's correct spelling. Consortium is an association typically of several businesses or companies. So not a bad little domain as far as like market consortium. You know, it's a group, a market. I guess it's kind of redundant. It's market consortium, so it's kind of a market of markets. Transparency is misspelled. Drive close, Science Act. I mean, we found some pretty good ones down here. These are really good for blogs, if nothing else. Quote Universal, Come Bake, Vets Chief. I love it when you dive down into these lower auctions. A lot of times I find, let's see what they, so we're right around the 1,500 mark in the appraisal tool over there. Just because they appraise it at 1,500, one, it's not worth 1,500. What they're trying to estimate is, what would somebody pay for this if you found the perfect buyer? If you find the perfect buyer, any domain's worth thousands if you find the perfect buyer, which that's the hard part. If that was easy, there'd be a lot more people in domain names. Crazy Explorer. Well, hey, that's not, is that a thing? Satin Woods? Isn't there like a, I know when I order like office furniture, I want to say that like a satin cherry finish. Maybe not. Okay, it's nothing. I thought we might have had something down. Drown the river. If it was down the river, that would be worth something. I don't know how close we are to the end. I'm hoping. Here's a fun one, maybe. Created at. I once sold Moving A. So Moving A, as in movinga.com, but Moving A, and then you can fill in the blank at the end of it. Ended up selling that for, I think, 5 figures. So created at could be that kind of thing where it was created at, actually, I don't know how you would do that. It's that same kind of feel to it, though. Culture immersion. That sounds like a metaverse type of thing. I like that. It's not a bad domain. Doggy Designs. Pretty good brand. Harvard Systems Choice Telehair. Deal Gears. Soltally. Not sure if that's an actual thing. Empower Finder. Okay. I think videoinvesting.com. Anybody? Let's see what it's like. I don't really know what you would do with it. Maybe you sell a video series on investing. Maybe you run videos that teach investing. Ends tomorrow, currently $12. Not a bad way to possibly create something if you're looking for a deal. Liquor tea, nice noodle. Nice noodle. I love it. Okay. Alrighty. Well, that'll do the trick. So I hope you found something good. I think especially we had the first half of the show. We looked at the domains based on the domains that are, you know, high value domains according to Google's or GoDaddy's appraisal tool. I get those two confused. You can see why. Anyhow, So first half, we looked at the high value ones. We found lots of great domains in that first half of the show. Make sure you check it out. But then we just spent the second half of the show as, I guess, a gift to our live viewers. We've looked at domains that are expiring within the next 48 hours, and we've found some pretty good ones. I think we found a couple that I'm going to have trouble letting go. Hopefully one of you have purchased it and you will develop it. That's my hesitation, is I might not develop a couple of those. If I got them, I'd hold on to them, and that's not the goal. The goal is to get them to develop. So I don't know. Let me know what you think about the format, whether you're watching live. In that case, you can toss in the chat. If you're watching this on Restream, you can just mention it afterwards. Do you like splitting it up? Do you like, a little bit of time spent at the top, a little bit of time spent on the last minute deals? I like it. I think it keeps it moving, which is good. And then also, I'm just kind of curious, like, what are you going to develop? Let me know, especially if you're watching a Restream, if you purchase something, always, whether you're tweeting at me or mentioning in the comments, let me know what you buy and what you're doing with it. If there's one thing I'm willing to do for you, just know I want to help you be successful with your domain to business properties. If you're buying a domain name to develop it, feel free to mention in the chat. I'll give you a shout out because this show is about taking domain names, turning them into businesses, but ultimately taking domain names and developing them. We don't want them just sitting in somebody's portfolio. We want them dusted off, developed out in the world, bringing value. So thanks for hanging out with me. I will be back next Monday to search more domain names, and lots of good stuff happening. Hope you got some great value. I will see you next Monday, 3 p.m. I'm Drew Walsh, Domain to Profit. Take care.